Hi, I'm Dave Rogers. I'm a policy advisor with the Northeast Organic Farming Association. This is another in a series of pieces we've done on policy issues that affect Vermont. We're here at the NOFA conference in Burlington at UVM. One of the workshops held at the conference was a workshop on the effort to pass GMO labeling legislation that would require the labeling of foods that have been produced with genetic engineering. The bill is H.112. We've been working on this with a coalition of organizations, including Rural Vermont. Andrea, who's the executive director, is here with us for this chat. And Cedar Circle Farm, Will Allen is with us representing Cedar Circle Farm. Another member of the coalition is VPIRG, the Vermont Public Interest Research Group. And we're also helped in this effort by the clinic at the Vermont Law School. So what we're here to talk about is this bill, H.112, its current status, what we're trying to get done here. It's February, middle of February, what we're trying to get done with this bill and need to get done before the legislature adjourns in early May. So we'll just start the conversation here. And Andrea, we've worked for a long time on this bill, several years. And would you just give a quick recap of where we've been in those couple of years and where we're at right at the moment?
Sure. Well, it sort of tracks my own history with the issue most recently, which is this coalition that you just described, the Vermont Right to Know Coalition, came together in actually December of 2011. Will and several other people brought this issue to all of us, and the coalition was formed. And in 2012, we worked a bill partially through the process. We only got it through the House Ag Committee that year, but a lot of testimony was taken, a lot of work was done, and the foundation was laid. But that was the second year of the legislative biennium, so we ran out of time, the bill died, and then we came back in 2013 with a new bill, H.112, and began the process again. The House Agriculture Committee passed the bill. It went through the Judiciary Committee on the House side in 2013, and then late in the session, literally in the last few days of the session, the House passed the GMO labeling bill by a very strong vote of 99 to 42. And that session ended, and then we started again this January, literally right out of the box on this very second day of the legislative session. The Senate Agriculture Committee took up the bill. They took several weeks of testimony, and just last week, after a huge public hearing at the State House on this piece of legislation, the Senate Ag Committee passed the bill with a strong vote of 4-1. But the most important thing was that the Senate Ag Committee passed what we call a clean bill, in that it is a bill that has a date certain when it will go into effect and when people in Vermont can expect to see food labeled.
So that brings us more or less up to date where the bill is. We expect the Judiciary Committee to take up this bill sometime in the middle of March. I'm not sure if you said that. Yeah. There are 5 members on the Judiciary Committee. It's going to get a serious look.
Well, I think that the key to getting out of the Judiciary Committee is with the public. The public can have an enormous impact on Vermont legislators, and we see that all the time. All of us spend a lot of time in the State House, but especially these guys. And people tell us that they've had more communication on this bill than any bill that they can remember. And so I think it's important for people to write letters, and it's important not just to send emails and make phone calls. A letter really makes a difference. I think that the Vermonters that testified at the hearing a week ago Thursday testified very clearly, like about 75% of them, that they don't want to be bullied around by the Grocery Manufacturers Association or Monsanto. They feel like the state should stand up to those entities, and let's take it to court if we have to go to court and fight it. And a lot of people said at that hearing that Vermont was first to outlaw slavery. Vermont was first to outlaw fracking. Vermont was first with civil unions, and they want Vermont to be first on this. We don't want to wait for another state. They've done all these polls in the state, and over 70% of the people want this bill
I
passed.
think Will's absolutely right that what has brought this campaign to the point where it is now and what will bring it all the way to victory is no let-up, a continual drumbeat of conversations, of requests, of phone calls and letters from the public to their legislators, because the hard reality is that our legislators, they're citizen legislators, they don't have staff, they don't have offices, they have a ton of pieces of legislation that they're dealing with. And although there are some of them in the State House who are very well informed on this issue, many of them are not. And the best way to inform them is for them to hear it from their constituents. And so every single person who can talk to their senator, who can talk to even their House members, because they're going to be involved again, to make sure that they understand what the bill is about, that the bill will require the labeling of food sold in Vermont that contains genetically engineered components or has been genetically engineered itself. And that's really all the bill is about. It is a bill that would give people the ability to know when they choose what food they want to consume and what food they're going to buy, whether or not they are in fact consuming genetically engineered food. And that's really simple, it's very straightforward, and that message needs to be delivered again and again and again, because most of the people who are opposing the bill are trying to make it much more complicated. They're bringing in lots of things that aren't really relevant, and the stronger the message is from constituents to their legislators that this is a simple bill that will protect the well-being of Vermonters, then legislators can begin to see that this is their responsibility, and it will be easier for them to see what the right choice is.
Well, and I think the other important thing is if you have a personal relationship with a senator or a legislator, use that personal relationship right now if you want genetically modified food labels.
And if you're a constituent, and perhaps you don't know your representative or your senator, that's okay, you're a constituent. Make yourself known to that person.
Try to talk to them on a town meeting day.
Right.
Even come to the State House. You can have a good time at the State House, and it's a place where you're welcome. I mean, there's no metal detectors or anything else. You can go right into the cafeteria where the senators and legislators are eating lunch and have lunch with them. I mean,
and you can make an appointment to meet with them, and we'd be happy to help any person who would wish to come to the State House and might feel a little uneasy about doing it, or how do I make that happen. If you just get in touch with anyone in the Vermont Right to Know Coalition. We have people in the State House, as Will said, all the time, and be happy to help you sort of find your way through there, connect with your representative, and to speak with him or her about this issue.
And I'd love to do the little commercial, which is if you want to get involved in this campaign, if you care about this issue, and anyone who eats should care about this issue, go to the Vermont Right to Know GMOs website, sign the petition that you support the bill, especially if you're a food producer or a small business or a farmer, a restaurant, a chef. We have a long list of people who are supporting the campaign. We'd love to have more people on that list. And there's a ton of resources on our website where you can learn more about the issue. We can help you with writing letters to the editor. We can help you with connecting with your legislators. And as Dave said, we are more than happy to help people who want to come to the State House and talk to their legislator directly. And that kind of public involvement, public conversation with legislators, and ultimately public pressure on the legislators to pass this bill is what is going to make it happen.
So we've done a lot of good work to this point, moving this bill through the House, through the Senate Agriculture Committee. We've had expert testimony from scientists, from researchers here at the university and elsewhere. We've demonstrated the strength of this bill, its legitimacy, its importance to Vermonters, and that conversation is one that we continue to hammer away at in the State House. It's a good bill, it's a strong bill, it's a defensible bill. We've had legal experts provide analysis that says this bill, if we go to court with this bill, it'll stand up to constitutional muster. And so we just need to deliver these messages plainly and repeatedly to our representatives, and to basically give them the understanding, but also the courage to move forward with this. And what they need is to hear from their constituents on this, with their expression of support and their sort of request that the representatives support this.
We have over 30,000 people who have signed the petition endorsing the bill. We have over 200 businesses, farms, food producers of one sort or another so far who have endorsed the bill.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, Dave, the University of Vermont has been doing polling on this issue for quite a number of years, and the very most recent poll they did was just last winter on the annual Vermonter poll, and they found, again, over 90% of Vermonters want to see genetically engineered foods labeled, and over 70% of Vermonters support this bill. They actually know that this bill exists and that this is the bill that will bring us labeling in Vermont. And we have the opportunity to be the first state to pass a bill with a date certain when labeling will begin. And I think that would be a huge step forward, not only for Vermonters, but for everybody who is concerned about what they eat.
It's time. And 64 other countries have already passed labeling bills. So it's not like we're first to the game, but at least we could be first in this country.
An excellent way for people in different communities around Vermont to plug into this campaign and come together with others who are working on this is to attend one of a number of community events that will be occurring throughout the rest of February and through March too. We have a series of film showings of the film GMO OMG. Several of those in Brattleboro and Burlington will feature the filmmaker who's coming to Vermont to meet with people who come to those showings. We have a series of trainings for consumers at local co-ops around the state, and all of these events, you can find information about all these events on the screen here, but also you can go to our webpage to find out where these showings and trainings will occur, when they'll occur, and any other information you might need.